Hello guys, welcome back to the Codebug YouTube channel. This is Siddharth Kumar and you're here to learn Java. Guys, so far we've learned how to manipulate integer type data and double data and all the number values, and I've taught you many math functions and how to implement them in implementing the formulas and all. So you can do that and much more. You can get more math functions from the website of Oracle or from the website of Java, and you can use them. Java is very easy to understand, guys, so don't just get scared by the name. Don't judge a book by its cover. So let's get started with the string today. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna enter a string by the user, and then we're gonna count the uppercase and the lowercase letters, and then we're gonna display the number of uppercase and lowercase letters separately. So let's see this. This is a code for the string operation, guys. So here's what you do. The first, import java.io.asterisk. This line, what it does is it imports the class which does all the IO means input and output operations. It imports that class. So class string public static void main, you already know the meaning of public. Access specifier static allocates the one-time memory to all the variables of this class. Void specifies the return type, and main is for the function. Throws IO exception. Throws refers to the throws is a function that that does the work of throwing all the exception, all the errors actually which come during the input and output operation. It throws it. That's why it's named after it. So throws IO exception. Input reader, this class. Now this is the object making of another class. Buffer reader, guys, is another class which is being used as an object over here for the input and output operations. Buffer reader br equals to new buffer reader. New refers to the memory allocation of variables of the buffer reader class. Now what this new keyword is doing is that it's allocating memory to every variable which would have been made in the would have been assigned in the buffer reader class, so for the input operation. So it's being used here. System.out.println, enter the string. Now what enter the string? Now this message, this line displays an output message to enter the string to the user. Now string s equals to br.readline. Now br.readline must be a function in the buffer reader class, which is being used here to input the messages by the user, or to input the data by the user. So this data is being stored in a string variable known as s, and br refers to the instance variable. Now remember, guys, whenever an object is made in a class, the object is referred by the instance variable. So what is the instance variable over here in buffer reader class? Buffer reader br. So br is the instance variable, and all its function will be called by the name as br. So it's sort of a nickname or something for that class. So string s equals to br.readline. Br is the instance variable and readline is the function. Readline inputs the data from the user. So here we've taken some variables, int I, lc stands for lowercase. It's a counter, lowercase counter and uppercase counter. For initial state we've initialized it at 0, and L is for the length counting of the string. What's a string, guys? String is a collection of characters, or that's some sort of sentence that can make a sentence or a paragraph or a word itself. String is just a collection of character. A single character is determined by the data type as char. If we want to input a character type data, that's only a single character, A, B or C separately, then we would have to take char C to store the data. But for a full word or for a full sentence or for a full paragraph, we will have to put the data type as string. So here we've initialized all the counters for I equals to 0, and this loop, this is a for loop statement. This loop, what it does, anything. Why isn't a loop implemented? First of all, a loop is implemented to do some work repeatedly. So what this loop does is that it checks each and every letter in the inputted string from its index at 0 to the last letter of the string. Suppose the string is, yeah, I'll type and show. Suppose there is a string named as Siddharth. So what this loop will do is, from the index 0, at index 0, the 0, where I'll mark the index here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Yeah, what it'll do is that let's have a look at this for loop. For I equal to 0 and I is less than s dot length I plus plus. From I equals to 0 means from index 0 of the string. At 0 index, what the letter is? The letter is s. So at 0 index, the letter is from 0 to less than s dot length. Be aware, guys. Less than, it's not less than equals to. Less than equals to would have mean that it would have been taken to its original length. Now what's the length of the string? 1, 2. Length is how much letters the word carries or the string carries. SIDDARTH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length carries 8 letters. So the length is 8. But here the loop is implemented till only less than length. That is 7. Why? Because the indexing begins in 0, and if the indexing begins at 0, then the whole word will be covered in from 0 to 7. So that's why we've taken for I equal to 0 to I is less than s dot length and I plus plus to move forth a step every time it counts a letter. So that's what the work for this loop is. And while counting, while moving forth and while counting, what is it doing? It's doing is that char ch, we've taken a variable char ch, and to point out each and every letter, we've taken this function caret. Now what caret does is it points out the character at. That's why it's nicknamed as char at. It points out the character at I position. I refers to this loop consisting of the index pointing loop. So I equals to 0. When I equals to 0, this letter, this ch will will point at 0 index. And when I refers to the 1, the index will point at first index, and which will point at I. So now after pointing out each letter, we check the condition if character dot is digit. Guys, this is a function. This is a string function used in Java. So character dot is digit checks whether the pointed character is a digit or a letter. If it is a digit, then it will count increase the counter by 1 as plus plus d. And if it is an uppercase, this function determines whether the letter is uppercase or the lowercase. If it is uppercase, it will count the number of uppercase letter by this counter, implementing by 1 each step after each step. And if the character is lowercase, this is a lowercase function, plus plus lc. This way, if it checks if the letter is lowercase, then it will implement and increment the counter by 1, and then it displays the number of digits, number of lowercase letters, and number of uppercase letter. So guys, what we've learned today is what is indexing and what is length. Guys, the best way to learn is by practically implying anything, not by just simply reading and not by just simply murmuring in mind. So what we've learned today is how to get data from the user in a string type. We know that to input data from the user in integer or any number can be done by using functions, by making functions, and we can take the values by calling those functions. So but to input a string, we need to get this line. We need to import this class, import java.io.asterisk, and we need to make the object of the buffer reader class, and then we need to use functions to import the string. But what makes Java much popular and much easier is that to do this thing, this character checking thing, and this uppercase and the lowercase checking thing, you would have done a hell lot of things in C. Almost 7 or 6 or 8 pages of programming for this sort of thing in C language or in C++. That's what makes Java more flexible, more portable, more object oriented, and more multi-threading language.